What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show by being transparent. And no shows over the weekend, but I do know I've won 10 of my last 11 bets. And, you know, talking before the show with Vino and looking at the leaderboard, I know he's been doing pretty well himself. So, Vino, it's good to be back with you. How's everything been with you? How you doing today?
Things are good, Skee. Things are good. This time of year, this summer, we don't have a heck of a lot to choose from, but we got the W. Last week for me was 9-1 inside the WNBA, and the only other thing I'm involved in is that the Canadian Football League, where I'm 7-2 for the year, so it's been good. That's a 16-3 combined, like we said the other day, and we'll get to promos later. But that 6 days for the price of three probably paid off really well last week. The combination of you and I. W did really well. We'll get in today's games, pretty big slate, and then tomorrow, I guess, Commissioner's Cup championship game.
Is it tomorrow?
I
I
see
don't think
it
it's
here, New
tomorrow. I thought
York
it
and
was the
Las
30th.
Vegas. Wait a
What up,
minute.
RC?
Oh
Good to
yeah,
see
yeah,
you.
yeah. You're right. They play each other tomorrow, and then they play the Cup game on the 30th. You're right. They play twice in 7 days.
Okay. I was like, wait. I was like, I gotta get in on this. I was waiting until the 30th. We're gonna have to get involved.
Hello, Ronald.
All right. We have 4 games to talk about for today. And we will start with the Sun and Sky. I believe the spread is right around the opener, but I think the total has gone up on every single game today. So we're looking at 170.5 in this one. Um, the Sky, man, they're one of the most disappointing teams. It's between probably them and the Mercury. But even the games that it looks like they have them locked up, they find a way to lose. I mean, you see Natasha Cloud frustrated, slamming the ball, kicking stuff over. You saw Skylar frustrated. I don't know, It's very hard to get behind this Sky team. The Sun, it's hard to bet on them to win. And with a point spread of 3.5, we're kind of expecting them to do that as well. So it's a tough game. I don't trust the Sun defense, and I do think the Sun can win. So I guess that means I think it's a high scoring game and lean towards the plus 3.5. Any thoughts from you?
Yeah, for the Sun, it's been the same deal. I think last week they played Toronto, and I happened to use their team total over because I just couldn't trust them to beat even a team as banged up as Toronto was. And it's the same old story, right, Skee? With them, it's really good, about 3.5 quarters. They had a 14-point lead, I think, against Toronto in the fourth. Connecticut did, and wound up losing the game. So they can't close. We talked about that a little bit last week. It's a recurring theme with them, can't close out games. Here with 3.5, maybe they can come within 3.5. Both defenses are bad, no question about it. But the Connecticut interior defense, much like the Toronto interior defense, is a sieve. And I think Camila Cardoso had 26 points last game. And the combination of her and Azare should be able to do damage here. But they allow points on the other end. And Connecticut's been able to score. Even, I'll say this, without Anissa Morrow, since she's come back, she hasn't really been the same with the double-double productivity. I think a lot of that's because Aaliyah Edwards wasn't in the lineup to begin with. Now she is, and the minutes are shortened somewhat for Morrow. Layla hasn't really shot the ball as well as I think she can. So Connecticut's played pretty good offense considering. I don't know, Ski. They're starting to make these totals hard on me because, like you said, they get raised and raised and raised. And at some point, we know there's always a red line. But here at 170, these two teams just played a 165 game not too long ago. And in that game, there were a lot of absences in that game, and they still got to 165. So if I were going to play here, I think I would trust these two to play bad enough defense, poor enough defense to get it over 170. But the margin, to make bets like this is getting slimmer because these totals are getting higher. I mean, betting Connecticut and Chicago when they used to be 162, 163, and betting them over is one thing. Now we're up to 170. I still think this one could get there, though.
Yeah, this one, I'm in agreement with you. It's a little tough though. What up, Kev? Let's keep going to the next game. This one is the tempo and the dream. We had a slight move on the spread up to 14. Total also moving up to 179.5. Looking at the injury report, you have Sykes out, Kiki Rice out, and Sabali game time decision. For the dream, no Aaliyah Nye, still no Bree Jones. We saw these teams play a little bit over a week ago, and Dream stomped them. Like I think by 25 points, something like that. And now it's a tempo team without Sykes and Rice. I mean, it's only Marina Mabry. Can she do it all? I mean, I think the Dream are good enough defensively to not allow that in my mind. So I think the Dream can win this game all kind of different ways. I think they can win this game by clamping up and just suffocating the tempo. I think they could name their number in this game. I mean, tempo's defense has been terrible all season, but especially on the road. So if I feel like it could be Atlanta team total over and Toronto potentially team total under, that means I think the Dream can cover. What do you think, Vino?
I think a lot of the same things. The only worry I had here where Atlanta's concerned, Ski, is that they just played back to backs with Indiana. And those games, I mean, if there is a rivalry in the WNBA, it would be any time Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are on opposite sides. And Atlanta puts a lot into those games. You could see it emotionally on the floor from both sides that they both want to win. And Atlanta comes off of just, basically beating the tar out of Indiana twice in a row. And is this a letdown situation? I don't know. The WNBA is hard to figure. I think in the NBA we can kind of assess letdown spots a little easier than we can in the W. They don't seem to go as accordingly as the other league. But Atlanta just has such a advantage here. And to your point about Marina Mabry, let me just say that when they played a couple of weeks ago, what happens to Marina Mabry, and especially as the only option for scoring, or at least the top three options for scoring for that team, is Ryan Howard gets that assignment, and it's not as easy anymore for Mabry. In that game the other week, or 7 days ago, Mabry was 2 for 11 from the field and only scored 9 points. Like when you said clamp down, specifically, they can clamp down Marina Mabry and say somebody else come get us. And they couldn't that night. They only scored 77 points. Atlanta had 102. Their offense has been amazing. I think they're over 104 their last six. If they wanted Skee, they probably do what they just did in that 102-77 game. That's a 179 total. And what we're looking at tonight is 179.5. So I think odds makers are, again, they're making the margin really tough. I kind of feel the same way as you. If Atlanta wants to win this game by more than 14, they can do it because Toronto's just running out of offensive options and they play little to no interior defense. Their inside defense is terrible.
Yeah, I really do think that the Dream can cover. Guys in the chat like in Dream Team total over. Yeah, just I mean, when I see 96.5, 97.5, I just I think they've how do you say they've I don't know why I can't think of the word right now. They've already put it into like the mark is already accounted for how bad the defense is. That's what I'm trying to say. Like we weren't getting close to 100 team totals versus this team for all those 8-0 or whatever it is for their opponent's team total over. Like now they've adjusted. And even though I think the Dream can do it, it's just you're paying a premium at that 97 number. Would you agree, Vino?
I do. I looked at the first game. They scored 102 against Toronto, and they did it on just 44% shooting. They made 14 threes in that game. And something I'm noticing about Atlanta Skee is that they're the number one fast break scoring team in the league. I just stumbled upon that number like a week and a half ago. But in that game against Toronto, 23-4 in fast break points. And I know I've been on the show encouraging Atlanta to go quicker. Toronto goes as quick as you can possibly go.
Yeah.
Maybe they can get there with poor shooting. But to your point, you're asking for 99. It's a lot. It's a lot to ask for. So we'll see.
Yeah. Kev says Reese rebounds. Never can talk you off of that. SF Niner, I think he's looking at some rebounds too. All right. We'll go over to the next game. That means Mercury and Fever. And this one also went up. I think it was 6 as the opener, now 7.5. Total also, I believe, was 175 and a half, now around 178. And Caitlin Clark is probable, like she always is. No Sammy Whitcomb, no Jig or Makani. They're all out for this Phoenix team. Phoenix, man, that's the one loss I had. And I said I won 10 of my last 11 bets. The one loss was Storm versus Mercury. And the Mercury have been playing so bad, but they just decided, we're going to play. We're going to, they look like a determined team in that game. And maybe this is the Mercury starting to find their rhythm. I mean, I wouldn't like that McConaughey's out, obviously. Um, but Indiana hasn't been playing that well to where they really should be laying multiple possessions. I mean, they just lost twice to the Dream. Before that, they won a couple games, but the competition was just so low. Like I'm speaking off memory, but I think they beat like the Sun, the Sky, maybe like teams like that. And the Mercury, they've been a very disappointing team this season, but they're not that bad. And if they're finding the rhythm right now, it could be still getting value on plus 7.5. What do you think about that, Vino?
Well, I'll go to one of your standbys. If you can't get stops, we can't trust you as a favorite, especially in this range. And Indiana just can't get stops right now. You know how we talk so often about when Becky Hammond gets upset with the defense and Las Vegas responds. I don't know that Stephanie White could get upset anymore because there's just no defense to be played by Indiana. They play at extreme pace. It's actually when they're at their best, so it's hard to ask them to play really good defense because the team is their best when they're running up and down the floor. They've scored over 100 points in 3 of their last 5. They've allowed over 100 points in 3 of their last 5. So, I looked at this total and then I went back to Phoenix. Phoenix has played 17 games this year. They've only gone over this number, the one they're showing us tonight, 177. Phoenix games have only gotten over 177 4 times in 17 games. However, the 4 times they went over, it was against fast paced off, twice against LA, which is basically a carbon copy of Indiana, all scoring, no defense. So twice against LA, once against Minnesota, where Minnesota just scored 111 by themselves because they're that good. And the other one, as I look here, because I forget, was against Toronto. All pace, no defense. I mean, Indiana kind of fits the bill of teams that Phoenix can get over this total against. So I considered it a little bit. I may still get there with this game over. Indiana, and again, they're just score, score, score. Even without McConney, maybe Phoenix can score enough. They did get to 93, like you mentioned the other day against Seattle, which, if they can get to 93 here, this game's going over 177, I'm pretty sure. So we'll see. It's not something that I bet yet. It's something I looked at. The other thing to note about this Skee is that these two teams play each other again 2 days from now on the same floor. Phoenix is going to be there for 2 in a back-to-back situation with a day in between. So again, sometimes we can counterpunch these things. Look at what happens in the first game, then figure it out and go some way in the second game. But if you were going to play tonight, I think Indiana Phoenix over might be a way to look, as well as Phoenix plus points.
I agree. Indiana definitely has been playing up tempo, and the defense is just not where it should be. Dropping dimes, reminding us that the Fever have been good early in games. I think the Mercury have been too. I think, let's see, Mercury team total under 85.5. I disagree with that. Vino does obviously as well if he's liking Mercury and over. I just think that the Fever defense, I mean, they've given up that number 4 of their last 5 games. Mercury offense trending in the right direction, clearing this in 2 of their last 3. I think that Mercury could get there tonight. All right. Last game is Wings and Storm. And another one where it went up to 10. And the total also went up from 165.5, I believe, to 169.5. Looking at injuries, Alicia Clark is game time for the Wings. No Alana Smith, no Odyssey Sims. For the Storm, Horston, Izzy, and Mayer are out. Melbourne is game time decision. The Storm team is just hard to trust. I mean, I just don't trust them. One thing this Dallas team, I trust them to put up points. I think they can really name their number in this game. Um, their defense, I feel like they've been a solid defensive team too. Obviously, missing Lana Smith won't help, but Storm offense, they can be bad. I think the wings would be my bet or the over. Wings or wings team total, something like that maybe. What do you think here, Vino?
Yeah, probably the game I had the hardest time with here today, Ski, but I don't disagree with anything you just said. Dallas, there's nights where that defense looks like it's an improved defense, and then there's nights where I think, well, they're just Dallas. Just gave up 92 to Chicago, barely won the game, gave up 91 to Golden State in a big game a couple of nights ago. But then we saw them at home destroy Las Vegas, and that's maybe the best, arguably the best offense in the league, held them to 66. So they have the potential. They have crushed Seattle once already this year. I remember the game specifically because I bet over in that game. Final score 79 to 56. They held Seattle to 56 points in that one, beat them by 23. They could probably do that again here. It's hard, I think, like you were saying, to make a case for Seattle. I mean, does home floor mean that much at Climate Pledge anymore? I'm not sure. Seattle's very erratic, and we've said it time and time again. They can't shoot. They just can't shoot, that team. So it's a game where Dallas could stretch the lead. I mean, even if they're only up 4 or 5 at half, you could see them winning by 11 or 12 and covering this number. Not having Alana Smith, and I'll tell you what, Alana Smith hasn't made that much difference in this team this year anyway. It's amazing to me that she hasn't been more impactful than after seeing how she played at Minnesota. But I guess for me it would probably be some form of Dallas too. It's too hard to trust Seattle. These games that we talked about today, Ski, either really bad defenses involved or some poor shooting teams involved. So I think Dallas is on the rise here, up to -10. I guess I would have to look that way if I played.
That's the game for today. So before we do get over there to the best bets, let's go ahead and put up the usual buy three, get three free. Comes out to 6 days for just $69. A good way to be involved with either Rob Vino or myself. And we told you guys earlier, I mean, last 7 days, what did Vino say? 9-1. And I believe I'm 8-1 the last 7 days. So if you're with us on that promo recently, eating pretty good. So Vino, anything else you would like to promote, feel free. And if you have a best bet for the show, we'd love to hear it. If you don't, all good.
Yeah, I think we're good, Ski. Like you just said, the WNBA is in pretty good form right now. I'll get right to the best bet segment. I'm going to do this today, Ski. Now, obviously, tomorrow there's one game. It's $5 Tuesday. I'll just prep the audience now. There won't be a best bet tomorrow. One game, $5 Tuesday. If we have a play, it'll be up for sale. So today, I would love to leave everybody a best bet, but I'll do this. I haven't played yet, and the theme on this show is if we don't bet it, we're not recommending it to anybody else. If you listen to the first 3 games that we analyzed, I'm real close on all 3. So again, we'll test listening skills. You can see where I'm leaning pretty strongly. So I'll leave you with those 3 strong leans. I don't know which of those I'll get to, but in some capacity, I'm going to play one of those 3 games.
Yeah, on the
Maybe.
same note, I haven't bet yet. So I'm not going to give you something I haven't bet. But similar to what Vino said, I'm looking at the middle 2 games we talked about. Those are the games that I'm probably going to be firing on. So best of luck, everybody, on all your action. Vino, I always appreciate you breaking the games down with me. We'll do it again tomorrow, or we'll break the 1 game down tomorrow, I guess. And then, yeah, just chat. Best of luck. We'll catch you